Hi friends, welcome back to part 2 of my houseplant tour. I am filming this on the same day. It's been like 10 minutes. I got a snack and I'm back to filming. But I wanted to make it into 2 videos just because I didn't want it to be super long, because like that way it can be like broken down and you don't have to watch it all at once. But we are back in the plant room and I'm going to move Wallace because he's in my way per usual. Goodbye, Wallace. So in the last video we did this spot of the plant shelf. So next I think we are going to do this little wicker shelf, which I wish the lighting was better for me to show you guys how good it looks, because I just think it really ties the room together. I got it at a yard sale for like $20. And on the bottom here, I have all my planty books, which I just love. I love my plant books. They're so fun. So I keep those down here, and then I have these two, of course. So the first plant up here is my, what is this called? Hoya Matilde? I don't know. I don't remember. I'll put the name on the screen. I'm really bad at remembering my plant names right now. But it does have some new growth, and I have it in this cute little ghost pot that I got because it reminds me of Kitten, because that's how she looks when she's hungry. But yeah, I just have this little, it's just a little tiny guy, and I love it. I think it's so cute and dainty looking. And then next to it, I have, this is a cutting from, it's like a cutting from a prickly pear cactus that I need to pot up soon. I've just had it like callousing over for like a week now, so it probably needs to go into a pot of its own soon. And there's also a little succulent just hitchhiking in here. But this is a different type of prickly pear cactus. I think it's a prickly pear cactus. I feel like it's a jungle cactus because of its watering needs. It just like acts like it needs a lot of water. So if you guys know what this plant is, let me move it. Yeah, if you guys know what this plant is, please let me know. I really love how it grows because it has this like almost woody stem, and then all these little like leaflets coming off of it, but it has some yellowing towards the top, which kind of made me think I was overwatering it. So I cut back again on watering, but then it just like loses a bunch of leaves. Like they all get like wrinkly and sad looking, and they just fall off from being too dry. So I don't know what to do. I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong, or if I should just like, I don't know. I have no idea. But if you guys have any clues, please let me know, because I really want this plant to do well and get big. On the other side, I have this philodendron fuzzy petiole is what it was sold to me as. I think I just got it from like JC's or somewhere. Like they were selling like kind of cool plants for being a big box store. But yeah, I really like this plant. It's really cute. I like the petioles, of course. Has a new leaf coming in. This is its newest leaf, which I like the shape of it. I just think this shape is really unique. I don't have any other plants with this shape. And again, with this one, I want to get it on a moss pole too, because I've seen pictures of plants that I think are the same as this one. When they get really big and their leaves are just like really like dramatically, like this, like these creases in the middle get so much more dramatic and like really neat looking. So yeah, it's just a really neat looking plant. And then right behind it is my philodendron hostatum, which has grown quite a bit. I have it supported with a stake. This is its newest leaf. It has another one on the way. And inside it, I just have a little, I forget what this is called, just like a little piece of a succulent growing. Just because I didn't want it in a separate pot that would dry out really quick. So he's just kind of hitchhiking in there. What's cool about this plant is that the back of the leaves are like burgundy. which I think is really cool. I really like this plant. I wasn't sure about it at first, but now that it's getting bigger, I think it's really neat. And again, I like the growth pattern of these types of plants, and I hope that I can grow it out to be super tall. Wally boy. So if you're wondering where I got this dome, I got it from Hobby Lobby. It was pretty cheap and it was on sale. Normally I like to buy the stuff thrifted, but I was okay with buying it new when my other dome broke because I just really needed something. So this first plant is probably one of my favorites in here. This is a cutting of my Philodendron verrucosum, which this is the top cut. This is its oldest leaf, which is just beautiful. I love this leaf. And then there's a new one that's just coming out, which, like, wow, that's a really cool leaf. So yeah, I'm hoping this one will be the main plant that I can keep and grow out to be super tall. Beside it is this little begonia that I don't even remember. Like, I had like a tiny cutting of it from somewhere, and it's just like growing and doing its own thing. It's super cute. I didn't like Rex begonias for the longest time, but since having this one, they've really grown on me, and I just think that the color, this like shiny silvery burgundy, is just like really neat. Beside it, a cutting, or actually it's a corm of my alocasia. I want to say Frydek, but I think it's actually called like Micklitziana or something. But this is the first leaf that it put out, and now it has this other little guy. So yeah, I used to have a super big one of these, but it died, and I was super sad. But I kept a corm, so hopefully I can grow it out big again. And then the last one here is my Philodendron caramel marble, which is fairly new to me. I have it growing in sphagnum moss, and it seems to be rooting in really well. This plant, once it gets bigger, it gets these like beautiful, like different colored leaves that are just like, I am so excited for this plant to get big. I think once it's a little more rooted, I'm going to pot it into soil, and then once it is in soil, I'll let it stay in the dome for a little while, and then eventually move it out and adjust it to room humidity, and hopefully I'll be able to get it on a moss pole, because this plant will be so pretty once it matures a little bit. Okay, I had to take a moment to get a charger so I can charge my phone while I'm filming, because it was at like 75% when I started, and now it's at 3%. So yeah, that's fine, I guess, but we'll just keep going. Let me move these plants. So we'll start with this one, which you guys have heard me talk about many times. This was a gift from Wendy, the girl who we rented from for our honeymoon in Michigan. She has a beautiful plant of this, just like full, like amazing, and she gave me a piece, like a little plant start for free, which is super sweet of her. And I just love the succulent. It's probably my favorite succulent I have, one of them anyway, because it's just so sweet, and I love the blue color of it with like the pink tips. I think that's just so pretty. So yeah, I really like this one, and it is doing well here in Just Terracotta by the window. These are my little cactus seedlings. I wanted to find more cactus seeds at Lowe's this year, but they didn't have any. That's where I got them last year. Oh no, don't fall over. Don't fall over. But yeah, they're starting to look like real little cactuses, which is so cute. Yeah, I really like them. I hope that they both survive to be like big plants. I might have to move them away from the window this winter. But yeah, they're so cute looking, and I just love them. And then next is my, what are these called? Stone plant. And this one, as you can see, has put out like this part, like spread out right here, and it now has a new growth on it, which is really neat. That's just how these plants grow. They almost like they shed their outer layer when they grow. So they don't really get taller. But yeah, that's so neat. I'm really glad this plant is doing well because I had it once before and I overwatered it. And it looks like this one, if I can get it to focus, is starting to do kind of the same thing where it's like this part is dying off and this like inside part is gonna eventually like grow out and spread this and shed this part of it. So I think that's really neat because not many plants do stuff like that. And then you guys saw me put together just recently this little succulent garden. This little cactus was flowering when I put it in here and I just bought it. And now I think it's dying, which I don't understand. I hope it's not one of those cactuses that die once it flowers. Because that's kind of sad. But if so, then I guess there's nothing I can do about it and I'll just have to fix it and fill it in with something else. But I also have this little succulent in here. I have this Haworthia that's doing well. This like blue moon cactus or something like that that seems to really like being in this pot. It's grown a tiny bit, not much. And then I put these little like baby succulents that I had growing just in the pot with it, and they've gotten really big since then. They seem to really enjoy being in here. I hope I didn't put them in too close. I wasn't expecting them to grow this big so quickly. But maybe I can like break a little piece off and propagate it. That would be cool. Next, I just have this other little barrel cactus that never looks like it's doing well, but I'm hoping I can get it to bounce back and maybe flower for me next summer, because it flowered for me like 2 summers ago, and then I potted it in with my aloe and it got too dry, just like the rat tail cactus did, and now it's unwell, but we'll see. Another little barrel cactus. I love barrel cactus, they're so neat, and this one has like little like long spines on it, which is really cool. They're like fuzzy, like they're not pokey, they're just fuzzy and really soft. So I really like how this plant feels. I got it from like I think it was a shop in Indy, I think is where I got this. And I just have it in this cute little terracotta pot. Some stones. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, there's that one. This is a cutting of my silver dollar vine that has not grown at all since I cut it, but it's alive, so I'm hoping that I can just keep it alive through the winter and maybe in the spring it'll start growing again. This is a little like, it's like fuzzy but in a very unique way. It's a succulent of some kind. I just have it in this teeny tiny little pot, which I really have to keep up on watering it because it is so tiny. But I just love how it looks. It's just so cute. I love this little pot. And I just love how this succulent looks. It's so neat. And it had some bald spots, but it's like pushed out new like baby growth where they were. So that's really cool that it does that. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of succulent this is, but I really like it. Next, I have my little snake plant babies. These are like, I've had these for so long and they're just growing so slow, but snake plants tend to be slow growers. So I'm just being patient. I have it in like a nursery pot and then just have this as like a cover pot. But yeah, I have 2 of them and I like them. They're super cute. Just a little succulent that I think Wade got for me a while ago. Yeah, it's doing well, and I'm hoping that I can grow it super big like my other one I have right here, because I just love little succulents. I love little plants in general, but there's just something about like tiny succulents and tiny cacti that I just find super cute. And then when Wade got me that one, he also got me this one, which is like purple. This one isn't doing as well. I think it doesn't like to dry out quite as much as the other one. So I'll have to keep up on watering it a little better. But it's just the same thing, another little succulent that is super cute. And then this one is another one of my favorites. I've had it for a while. And it's just like so cute and compact and just grows so well. I think this is the one that finally made me like fall in love with succulents. Because just look at how cool that looks. It's got like a blue like sheen to it, and it's super cute. I really like this one. And then on the top row of the window, I have the booby cactus that Wade also got me. It's like blue on top, and then it's kind of greener down to the bottom. I thought this plant was going to die, but it has bounced back. Again, I underwatered a cactus. Don't know how, but it's fine. It's doing okay now. And yeah, I like this plant. I think it's really funny, and it's a good conversation starter. Wade always points out this plant when he has a friend over and he's like showing them around. He's like, this is the booby cactus. And I just think it's funny. It's such a cool plant. This is probably one of my favorite Hoyas right now. This is a Hoya macrophylla. And I got it from a plant shop in Indy, my favorite plant shop, Maze Greenhouse, I think is what it's called. And it's put out so many new leaves since I got it. It's a very steady grower. This is the newest one, and then of course it has this huge vine that will eventually put out leaves as well. I would love for this plant to flower, but honestly, I'm just so happy that it's growing. It's like got pink, like sides, like the sides of the leaf, and then it's almost like variegated, and the veins on this plant, just like, it looks so unique and so cool. And again, I have it propped up with a stake. I want to put it on a trellis at some point, but this will do for now. Beside it is my newest plant. This is actually the only and ever carnivorous plant. Actually, I've had a Venus flytrap before, but I've killed them all very quickly. I've had this one for a couple weeks now. Actually, probably longer than that. And you can see the little, like, it's a sundew. Okay, sorry about that. Wade was calling. But again, this is a sundew, and it makes like little like sap that catches like little bugs and like that, which is so cute. I'm so excited for like if I were to get fungus gnats again, I could just like, this plant would catch it and it'd be really cool. And it has like little itty bitty flowers that, let me sit it down. They have not opened yet. And I don't know if they all will, because like it's adjusting to my environment now. But they're gonna be purple, and that's so cute. And it puts out like long stems for the flowers because it wants bugs to come and pollinate the flowers and not get stuck in the sap, because then it can't like pollinate it. So I think that's a really neat way that this plant like, you know, does its thing. Like it traps some, but it wants to have some survive so that it can reproduce, which is so neat. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can keep this plant alive. When I bought it, it was in sphagnum moss, and I'm just keeping it in sphagnum moss because that's how most people seem to grow them, and in a pot with no drainage. So I keep the soil or the moss like consistently moist, not like drenched, but yeah, consistently moist, because that's how these plants seem to like to be. Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on this one, but I love it so far, and I really want to get more of them eventually. Beside it is another little succulent. I like the color of it, and the stem's kind of bare, but it is putting out a little baby, which is cute. I really hope that it like fills up all the way up with like little pups, because that would just look really neat. But again, I don't mind how it looks like this, because it's just kind of, it's unique, and I think it's okay. This one, again, I've let it dry out too much, which is really sad for a succulent. Is that a little baby? Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice. It's got a little pup in there. Anyway, yeah. So this, oh my gosh, I gotta stop that. This one is doing okay now. I just have to keep up on the watering. And then kind of the same with this one, just a little like cute little succulent and some babies that are getting too dry. Story of my life, but I like the succulent. I like both of them. Will you stop trying to bite me? Over here, I didn't do it in a video. Actually, I have a short that I need to post of, I might end up posting it before this video goes out, of me repotting this. It was just kind of like a very impulsive decision when I was moving plants inside, because I got this pot from the same yard sale I got this little shelf from, and I just wanted to combine them, my aloe and my cactus, because I thought it would look cool, and it really does. I love all the rocks that I put in here. These are just like random ones that I found like on the sidewalk or in just different spots, and some of them Ellie gave to me, and I just think it looks so cool and deserty. Yeah, I really like it. I have a little basket for all my tools. On this shelf, the ladybug pot is empty right now, but beside it is this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which is finally like, I think it's okay. I think it's bouncing back from being outside. It has new growth somewhere. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, it's got a new growth coming in right there, if you can see that. And yeah, I want to grow this plant like up the wall like a lot of people do and get it super tall. And I think it would really add to the jungle-y vibe. Oh no. And beside it, one of my favorite plants, like you guys know, my Philodendron palmanii. It's doing okay right now. This is one new leaf. This is another new leaf that like broke off, and it hasn't completely died off yet, but it's getting there. It won't focus. Yeah, it like kind of broke off while it was unfurling, and the leaf's still unfurled, but I don't think it's gonna survive. But it's growing really wonky, and there's a baby plant down here. This plant is just kind of a hot mess. I potted it into this pot, but I potted it backwards, so like these leaves are all facing this way, and so now I'm trying to just get it to face out the other way. But yeah, this plant is still a very beautiful plant. I think it's meant to be a crawler, but I'm trying to make it climb up this little stick that I have. Up here on this shelf, we have a little terracotta theme going again. This is my painted lady philodendron. It's just growing in moss right now, I think. Yeah, it's just in moss. I had it on the porch for the summer, and it seemed to enjoy that. I moved it back in, and it put out the smaller leaf, but that's to be expected, so I think it'll be fine. Beside it, my Syngonium batique, which is a super cute plant. Not putting out any new growth yet, but I thought the plant was going to die, and I cut it back completely, and it was outside as well. So it seems to be doing better now. I really like how this plant looks. It's got like a matte, kind of like spotted, like green, not variegation. I don't even know what you would call this, just like a pattern. That looks really cool. I have another one of it somewhere. I don't remember where right now. I might have gave it away, actually. I think I gave it away to someone. And then beside it is another one of my top favorite plants. It's my Philodendron Golden Goddess, which just grows so cool. Let me sit it down. This plant grows so like full, and I just love the pattern of it and how the leaves just like kind of hang like that, like they like fold out a little bit. It's always putting out new growth. It's very vocal when it needs water, which I like. Not a fussy plant. It's like a lime green color, which I think is neat. It's a little unique. And yeah, I just love how it looks. I can't wait for this to be like a big full plant and just like let it take up like its own space, and it'll just look really neat. And then up on the very top shelf, where I can't reach very much, is my Philodendron Brantianum, which I kind of just put it up here to fend for itself because it's a difficult plant, which they're known to be. And I just don't have the means to deal with it right now. So I put it up here. It's surviving. It gets watered. It's growing a little bit. So yeah, that's just, it is what it is. Okay, this is our bedroom. And over here, Chino's freaking out about the shadows. Over here is like my little planty spot. I have some on this window, I have some down here. I have this whole corner shelf just dedicated to plants right now. So let me kind of show you guys what's going on with this shelf. So this spot, we moved our bed around so that I could have some plants here. Let me move my step stool. I wanted a shelf that I could just like, will you stop? Will you stop? Stop it. I wanted, Chino, okay, come on. Come on, Chino. Come on. Goodbye. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm so sorry. I know. I love you. Goodbye. I wanted a spot that I could just dedicate to plants that we're planning to sell for the business, because I was just like propagating so much and didn't have room for it. I don't plan on selling this, but I just didn't have anywhere else to put it. Same with this one, but yeah, this is my little terrarium that Wade and I made. But everything else on here, also besides this one, everything else I plan to sell. So let me start at, I'll go through the propagation bin in a moment, but let me start by showing you guys what's going on in this terrarium. Wade and I put this together quite a few months ago now, and most of the moss has died off, but all the plants are just going wild. We have an Adansonii in here, which I've taken multiple cuttings from. We have an SP Silver, which I've taken multiple cuttings from. Whatever this little guy is, I have no idea what it is, but it's growing well, and I need to take a cutting of it and like fill in the pot a little bit. And then this is a little jewel orchid that Joyce gave me that I love it so much. I mean, just look at that. That is such a beautiful plant. It looks like lightning, and I just love it. It's doing so well in here. It put out a little baby, which I might separate. I don't know. I just love it so much, and I want like 100 of them. They're just so pretty, and I love it so much. It's so easy, at least in the terrarium. I don't think I grew it much outside of the terrarium for very long. But yeah, I would like to at some point and just see how it does. But I'm afraid of taking a cutting and then it dying, because I just love this plant so much that I don't want to lose any pieces of it. But I might try it at some point. I think this is another SP Silver that I took a cutting from and put in here. Oh, and there's also, if you've been here for a while, you know this Hoya. This is my variegated Hoya, Carnosa compacta. And in the year, 2 years probably that I've had it, it put out that one little leaf. And that has been it. So it's just chilling down there. I've kind of given up on it, but it's fine. There's also some rocks in here and just different little things. I really like this little terrarium. Beside that, back here actually is a little terrarium that I've just started putting together. There's a little, I don't know how well you can see it. There's a Hoya cutting and there's some moss in it, but nothing too exciting. This is a plant. This is a, oh, what was it called? No, not a caladium. It might have been a caladium that our friends Max and Charity gave me for Christmas one year, and it like completely like started to just die. So when summer came around, I just planted it outside and was like, we'll see if it lives or not. So I planted it outside, and I kind of forgot about it, and someone was like weed eating in our yard and like chop the whole thing down. But then I was out there and I saw that like the little stem was sticking up with all these little new growth points. So it's kind of funny that I think it just needed to be cut back and restart a little bit, and now it's growing. And I'm really excited to see how it turns out, because now I could have 3 little branches of this. This is a Micans pot that I propagated and is pretty much ready to be sold. I'm just growing everything out until we open. So stay tuned for when that happens. If you guys are wanting any of these plants that I mentioned are for sale, or will be for sale eventually. This little terrarium is, I don't remember what kind of plant this is either. I think it's a peperomia or like a Peolia, something like that. Yeah, it's just a terrarium full of it, and I think it's really neat looking. There's another terrarium back here that just has some moss and a Photonia cutting. Philodendron SP Silver. Oh, this one won't be for sale right away. It's a Monstera Peru cutting that I got from my mom, but it's the only cutting I have, so I want to grow it until I can get another cutting, and I can keep one for myself as like a plant to keep growing and taking cuttings from, and I can sell the other one. A varicosum cutting I plan to sell. Again, this actually, I used to have a much bigger plant of this. This is the Alocasia dragon scale, or silver dragon, one of the two. But I gave the bigger plant to my mom because I just wasn't loving it. But I searched the soil for a corm, and I found one, and now the corm is growing, and I love it because it's tiny, and I grew it myself, so it's just a little more sentimental. And then my Hoya crankle cutting that will also be for sale. Up here, I don't remember what this plant is. I'm really sorry, guys. But this plant was not doing well in the pot it was in, so I've repotted it into here, and it's really liking it. There's a little baby cutting of that succulent I have a couple of in the plant room. In this dome is a Hoya cutting that you'll see the mother plant in a minute. I forget what this Hoya is called as well. But yeah, super cute leaves. This one flowers a lot. Not this one, but the mother plant flowers a lot. So I imagine that when this one gets bigger, it'll flower quite a bit as well. So I want to grow this into a larger pot before I sell it though. So right now I'm just trying to keep it in here so that it can grow fairly large. This one is one of my favorite terrariums I've made. It's literally just a little bit of moss and a cutting of a Micans. And it's just like the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's just going crazy in here, and the leaves are huge and they're just so beautiful. So I really like this one, and I want to make more like it because I think these ones are really cool. And then let me grab, I had a step stool somewhere. Here we go. Let me get up here. This is my Philodendron Burl Marks. This is the main plant. I do plan to sell this one as well. It's pretty big. I had it outside this summer, and it's doing well. And then, like in the pot, I have a little Hoya Splash cutting that I can't get to very well. It's back here. And it's putting out some new growth as well. Cute little leaves back there. I just love it. And it stays in this window, which gets like some really good light. I actually have to keep that line kind of closed because it'll get too much direct light for the terrariums. And I didn't point out this terrarium. This one has, you can't see it because of all the steam, but it has a Syngonium confetti in it, and it also has some variegated string of hearts, and just some moss growing in it. And there's something else in there. I put like a wet stick of something in there, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. So once that confetti gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to take a cutting, keep the cutting to continue to propagate and then sell the main terrarium. And then beside those, I have in this little McAllister's cup a, what is this, heartleaf philodendron, just a cutting of it that I'm growing out. I have another SP silver that I'm growing in just moss in this little like jam jar, I think. Yeah, and this one's doing really well. I love these plants. I just love how they're growing. And then in this other cup, I have another philodendron. No, this is a, yeah, heartleaf philodendron that eventually I might pot them in together, but I don't know yet. We'll see. And then the last plants that I have that I plan to sell are up on this windowsill. Actually, I don't know if I'll end up selling this one because it's in leca and it looks kind of wonky. But it's just kind of like a random plant that just kind of hangs out and just like doesn't die. So I keep it around. It's another philodendron burl marks that just stays up here. This one I do plan to sell. It is another cutting of that succulent. It's so easy to propagate, so I really like it. And I have it in a pot that I decorated with some stickers, which is really cool. And then in this cute little mug, I have a cutting of a golden pothos that's doing really well and starting to trail. Yeah, I really like how this one looks as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I do normally have a grow light clipped right here for this, but my grow light has stopped working on me for some reason, which I'm really confused about. But I'm going to try troubleshooting a little bit later and see if I can get it to work again. But I don't think there's enough light in this spot just by itself, so I do want to keep grow lights on it. Okay, moving to this spot of the bedroom, which is probably my favorite. I just did this like yesterday and I absolutely love it. I just love how it all looks and how it came together. So I guess we will start up here at the top of the shelf, which I'm going to bring the plants down so that you guys can see them a little better. Let me set this right here. How does that look? Yeah, let's sit it right there. Let me move this guy. Okay, this is my asparagus fern, which I've been kind of having to troubleshoot with. Again, I don't know if I'm underwatering or overwatering it, but I decided to cut back pretty drastically on the watering because it was yellowing a lot, and it was like the new growth that was yellowing, and it seems to be okay now that I've cut back on it, but we're just gonna see. This is the newest leaf that has survived. Yeah, and I love this plant. It's like a little tree, which I just love the look of like little trees. I think it's really neat. I hope this is focusing well. I hope you guys can see this well. But yeah, I love this plant and how it looks. And I keep this little like cow guy in it too, which is super cute. I think I thrifted this pot as well, so that was a really good find. Right beside it, trailing down beautifully, it's grown a lot this summer, is the mother plant to that Hoya that was in that terrarium or that like humidity dome that you guys saw a few minutes ago. Let me actually, here we go. Okay, this will work well. So this is my Hoya something, I don't remember. But all of this like entire vine is new growth this summer, and the flowers actually just fell off, but it was blooming in like 3 different spots, like 3 different times this summer. So that's really cool. This plant is so unique, just because like the leaves are so tiny, and it's just like cute and trailing, and I just love it. I love how full the pot is. So if you're looking for a cute little Hoya that flowers a lot, I definitely recommend this one. And the flowers kind of smell like baby powder to me, so I really like it. Beside that one is the OG Heartleaf Philodendron. Let me step back and show you how full it is, or how tall it is. Yeah, this is easily one of my favorite plants, just because it grows so much, so easily. I just love it. I do inside the pot have this little like tiny asparagus fern cutting. But yeah, pretty simple plant, pretty easy to care for. Similar to the pothos, I love it very much. Right beside it, I keep my Phalaenopsis orchid, and this is the newest leaf. It hasn't bloomed for me this summer, but I'm hoping it might towards like, I don't know, I feel like last year it bloomed in the winter, which is kind of unique, but maybe it'll do it again. This one is in like an orchid pot, but in like a cover pot, and I overwatered it like a month or so ago, and it started to rot. So I kind of have it recuperating from that right now. The roots are looking okay, but I mean it's still growing, and we haven't lost any leaves yet. So I think this is a pretty hardy plant, and I like the growth pattern of orchids as well. So my little Phalaenopsis orchid. Beside that one is Matt, as his name states. This is my Philodendron micans, and it's a pretty common plant. You've probably seen it before, but the leaves are just really cool. I named it matte because the leaves have like a matte finish to them, and they like glisten in the sunlight, which is really cool. And this one has grown a lot this summer as well. I've taken so many cuttings of it. It just grows super crazy. I kind of want to start growing it like up a wall at some point, because I see a lot of people doing that, and it looks really cool. Again, just in terracotta, and it looks like I need to repot it soon because it's got roots that are starting to come out the bottom. But yeah, I really enjoy this plant. I like having my trailing plants up on the shelf because they just look really cool hanging down like that. And then the last couple plants I have on this shelf, I'll start with this one. This is another cutting of the fern, asparagus fern, which isn't an actual fern if you guys didn't know. I just have a cutting of it in a cover pot, or in a nursery pot with this terracotta as a cover pot. And then because it was drying out so much, I just sit it in here so that I can water it really thoroughly, and in the same water this plant. This one is a staghorn fern, which I don't believe is also an actual fern, but I rescued this from Lowe's a long time ago. These are the older leaves that it came with, besides the ones that I've cut off because they were like unhealthy. And then all of this stuff over here is just new growth, and I love this fern. It's just like, it's so cool, and I just love how it grows. It's an epiphyte, so if I wanted to, I could put it on like a wooden plank or something, and I think that would look really cool. That's how Jas.plants grows a lot of his, which I just love. But yeah, this one is quickly becoming a favorite of mine as well, just because it's doing so well, and I just love how, like, I don't know, unique it is from all my other plants. Okay, so that is it for that shelf. Now I'll show you right here on the wall, just like hanging on a wooden board, is my, what is this called? My mini orchid, my miniature orchid, which I just have on like a moss ball, which the moss dries out really quick. So I have a spray bottle down here that I keep trying to keep it moist, like spraying it every day. But that is an issue with these plants, is that they dry out so quick, and I can't just like detach it from the wall because I have it nailed in. And like, what I would do is just soak it like once a week, and I think that would help. But maybe when we, like next time we move, instead of hanging it on the wall with just a nail, I'll find a way to hang it where I can easily like attach and detach it, so I can keep it a little better watered. And then next, this plant used to be in the plant room, in the green room, but I just recently moved it in here because I don't think it was getting enough light. It hasn't grown much, but this is my big snake plant. I really like this plant, and I watered it like a month ago, like max. It might have even been longer than that. And the soil is still a little moist at the bottom, which is why I think it's not getting enough sunlight. So I'm hoping it'll be happier in here. And then the very last plant in my plant tour, actually that's a lie, not the last plant. The last plant on this wall is this little heartleaf philodendron, which her name, it's actually Wade's plant, but her name is Stacy. And I just recently put her, like taped her to this wall so that it can like grow around the clock. I think that would look really cool. I got the idea from Wild Fern, if you guys know any of her videos. She has Greta, her Snow Queen pothos, doing the same thing, but like around a mirror, which I think looks really cool, and I wanted to do something similar with this clock. So I think I need to figure out something better to keep it up, like keep the tape on, because the tape just isn't staying very well. But I think that it looks really cool, and I'm excited for it to grow more farther up. And then this mug is really cool too. This is a cutting of my Burmarks philodendron that is my plant that I won't be selling. And I just have it in soil, growing on like a stake. And this plant is just so easygoing and easy to grow. So yeah, I love this plant. Beside it, let me grab it, I keep my little terrarium. That's like the first one I made, and I love it because I found this fern just growing outside, and I have it growing in here, and there's some moss growing. It's really unique. And at some point I put a caterpillar in here, but I don't know if he survived. I don't know where he went. I'm wondering if he like built a cocoon and is like nesting now, but we'll see. I wanted to experiment. And then I believe the last of the plants are, oh, there's another propagation of a begonia that I have going. But the last ones are just my propagation bin, which I'm just going to go over really quick. Some Hoya cuttings, some philodendron cuttings. I have no idea what this one is. And there's a lot of wet sticks in here, just some various things. Some Andersonii cuttings. What are these called? Peperomia. Yeah, these are all plants that I plan to sell eventually. I just keep them in here until they get big enough for me to move them out, and then they go probably into another cup like those ones did. Once they don't fit in here, and then eventually I'll just adjust them to room humidity and have them ready to be sold. I like this begonia so much. It's so hard to grow. Like, I had the mother plant and I put it outside and it just didn't like it, and so now I don't have it anymore, but I've taken a bunch of cuttings and I'm hoping that I can get this plant to regrow. Look at this tiny little pothos leaf. It's so cute. And again, normally I keep grow lights on this to help keep it warm for one, but also keep the humidity up. Okay, I do believe that is all of the plants. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this long 2-part houseplant tour. I hope that you enjoyed it. I still haven't counted my plants. I'll put it in the title. I will count how many plants I have that I take care of, and I will put it in the title somewhere. I feel like it's well over 100. I'm gonna guess like 110. That's gonna be my guess. I'm gonna count and see where we are. I'm not gonna count the propagation bin like individually. I'll just count that as like one. But we'll see where we're at. And again, I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.